line. Doble is going to drop back through this field just a little bit. And Brooks was involved in that last incident. As everybody stacking up here on the front straightaway. Mike Lark might be close to the line.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's running of the Mr. Aero 175, brought to you by CFI. I'm Stephen Moore, together with Case Brinksma. Joe Cortez hopefully will be joining us later tonight. We're here to bring you round 7 of the Vidane Super Speedway Series, brought to you by Don's Home Improvement, Ken's Cards, Rent a Race Car, and Xlander. Tonight we've got looks like we've got 20 cars here competing in this 70-lap race. And starting on pole of tonight's race is the number 23 of Brandon Hoff. Starting outside pole in the number 2 car is Brad Patton. Starting third in the 93 car is Josh Chin. Fourth is Nick Phillip. Number 5 is Jeff Ramsdell. Number 6 is Joe Branch. The number 31 is Dalton England. The number 8 starting number 8th in the 924 is Ian Plash. Starting 9th is Connor Anton. And starting 10th is Jesse Kaplan. Starting in the 11th spot is the number 9 of Davey Scoville. Number 12th is Houston Hammer. 13th is the number 38 of Wes Hogue. That's the winner from 2 weeks ago. 14th place is the 33 of Nick Lancaster. 15th is the 40 of Doug Denice. 16th spot is Kevin Schofield. 17th spot is number 92 of Quentin Young. 18th is the 32 of Steve Lovender. 19th is the 8 of Tad Granger. And 20th is Justin Knobloch. Starting 21st with no time recorded is Justin Bolton. And EJ O'Rourke looks like he'll wind out the rest of this field. Few cars did not qualify, but it looks like they did grid. Pace car is lights are out on the pace car. We're coming to green this time by. In case we've got 70 laps here on the old Daytona surface. What do you think we can expect here?
The track is going to be really bumpy. The cars are going to be really hard to hang on to. So this is a driver's track as a super speedway, and they're about to go green, so I'll send it off to you, Steven.
And the pace car is pulled off, and it's going to be Brandon Hoff leading him to green here.
They are side by side for the first position. We have the number 23 of Brandon Hoff, who just got pushed by the 93 of Joshua Chin to the point, followed by Jeff Ramsdell in third.
And they are double file. It looks like all the way back through the pack, as this bumpy surface is really starting to throw cars around there. For the first lap, looks like they're just trying to find a space to run right here. As we go into turn 3, one car is up into the wall there. That's going to put the field 3 wide as he's fallen to the back there. And coming off turn 4, it gets real tight. They go almost 4 wide trying to avoid that car. Oh, and they've got turned. We've got a big crash down the front stretch. We've got Stephen O'Rourke is turned. A few cars. We've got about 5-6 other cars are getting turned in this. The 41 of Stuart Redmond just got involved. And we are caution here. Looks like the 77 car is smoking heavily. He has severe damage.
Yeah, loading up the replay, it looked like that was it was all started by the number 69 of Nick Phillip, who got up into the wall and then escalated with the 43 and 33 of Nick Lancaster. It was just all pandemonium from there.
Yeah, as we look back, they were 3 wide through the tri-oval. It was Nick Phillips who was in the wall coming off at turn 4, and as they went through the tri-oval, they were still 3 wide. Nick Lancaster gets together with the 43 car. That shoots him dead right. The 69 car of Nick Phillips, he was just a bystander there, and once they get turned, the 43 goes flipping pretty violently there. And we'll be back after this commercial break. We're going to try to see how the field is sorted out here.
Tonight, guys, it's always a good time here at Daytona International Speedway, especially when Vidane comes to the track. It means there's going to be a lot of great racing, and we've already seen the first big incident of the night just a moments ago before the commercial break.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Lancaster got together with the 43 car, and about 5-6 other cars were involved there, and quite a mess towards the back of the field. It looks like the 33's already gone a lap down the 40, the 77. It looks like the 09 is retired.
Definitely not the way the 09 wanted to finish the race tonight. Lots of drivers here all vying for position. Remember, we took about 3 weeks off here to celebrate the holiday. Back tonight at Daytona Superspeedway with Vidane Racing, and still points up in the air for a lot of these drivers out here. It's still anybody's race, even though Austin Atkinson could still steal it away very quickly. Interestingly enough, I do not see Atkinson on the field though tonight.
No, it doesn't look like he gridded. That's certainly going to shake it up. Let's see, we've got Davey Scoville. He's third place in points right now. He's managed to stay up towards the front, so he's going to try to look to get, hopefully, the points lead by the end of the night.
The front of the pack, definitely the safest place to be here at Daytona International Speedway, hoping to avoid another big one. Just a reminder, folks, you can always check out the driver cams and the race stream at vidane.net/live. Go to vidane.net, click on the live tab. You can follow along here with us, the Checker Flag Interactive crew, as well as each of these drivers with their onboard camera. Should be going green flag any time now, and once these guys get it restarted, look for them to do some aggressive driving in these Gen 6 cars.
Yeah, the way this track surface has come out, it is the 2007 surface, and looks like the setup we were watching in practice, they were having a hard time trying to tandem with each other. 3 wide looked very, very sketchy there. So right now it's going to be very interesting to see what people's strategies are, if they're even able to tandem, and whether or not they want to try to stay at the back or the front here, whatever they think would be safest.
Tandem racing is usually what happens at super speedways in these Gen 6 cars, but when you throw in the 2007 surface here at Daytona International Speedway, it really throws these guys off. They start driving almost like the previous generation, the COT cars, because they're forced to go into the pack. The surface is not conducive to doing that tandem racing, and because the surface is not what it should be for it, they've got to figure out a new way to get around it. And in this case, it's just getting around how best you can in the pack.
Yeah, especially the weather really isn't helping today. It's a pretty standard Florida day. It's 55% humidity, and these cars are going to be sliding around quite a lot. Especially handling might come into play here. You're probably going to see people sliding around later in a run. You're not sure whether you can run the turns wide open without potentially losing it.
Of the red, Joshua Chin right now on the top of the field as pace car lights remain on for at least one more lap. Brandon Hoff behind him, Jeff Ramsdell, Brad Patton, Joe Branch, your top five. Then there's Davey Scoville, who is second, who is certainly third in points. Ian Blash, seventh. Jesse Kaplan, eighth. Wes Hogue, ninth. Kevin Schofield rounding out your top 10, and still a lot of drivers able to run in this field. You mentioned E.J. O'Rourke earlier in the 37. He's race number 12 right now. Tad Granger, who's usually a regular at WSU Motorsports, coming over to Vidane tonight. He's running in the 8 machine in 11th place. And still a lot of very talented drivers in this group. Dalton England, Stuart Redmond back on the lead lap. Houston Hammer in that mix as well. Looks like, guys, we're going to have at least 26 cars on the lead lap, 30 in contention when we go back to green flag racing, and still a lot of cars in this field. They are doubling up this time, one to go before we go back to green flag racing.
It also appears right now Stephen O'Rourke, after flipping pretty violently, doesn't have either a front or rear end. He's still trying to hang on there. He is the first car one lap down. A few other cars, 17 of David Pollack, he has a little front end damage, but it looks like he might be fine. And looks like the 77 has retired. The 40 of Doug Denise is retired. Nick Lancaster, who was one of the two cars involved in the start of that crash, he's pulled it behind the wall. And it looks like it's going to leave about 32 cars still on track, 30 on the lead lap here.
In that group, struggling to get back to that group, Stephen O'Rourke with a heavily damaged 43 machine out there. He's going to need all the help he can get to get back up front. I don't believe they have resets in this series, which is going to make it very difficult for him to get back in the middle of the mix. Josh Chin, Brandon Hoff on the front row. They go through turns 3 and 4, and anybody's race still to be had. Only lap 6 of 70 to go here. Not even a seventh of the way through at Daytona International Speedway. Get ready for some edge of their seat driving as the pace car is going to make the hard left turn down pit road, getting to the safety of pit road and away from the melee. We're about to see Josh Chin, Brandon Hoff on the front row. Green flag flies, and it looks like Hoff's going to get the jump. Outside line's the place to be. Hoff now getting a little help from Brad Patton. Low line, however, not going to be denied. They are determined to start getting back in the group and start making the run up front.
And Jeff Ramsdell's is Hoff's teammate up there. They're separated right now. I'm sure they want to try to get in line and work together. But right now he's got Brad Patton on his bumper coming off of 2, and they're still side by side for the lead going down the backstretch.
Josh Chin has the group behind him on the top side. Brandon Hoff getting help from the number 2 of Brad Patton. Those two starting to break away, but they cannot break away without the help of the rest of the crew. Side by side, they go into turns 3 and 4. You see the 93 bouncing on this 2007 surface out there. Not exactly what he wants to be. Makes the turns that much harder. You said just a moment ago, with this old surface, you have no idea if you can go full throttle through the turns because it is just so bumpy. It is just so hard to drive. Because of that, it makes it very challenging for each of these drivers to manage it through. Josh Chin in the 93 machine took away the lead that time around, but Brandon Hoff still on the high side. And you watch these cars bounce through turns 1 and 2. You've got to think, how hard is it for these guys just to get through, to hold on to these cars as they continue to fight for the lead?
Well, you can certainly see both Jeff Ramsdell and Brad Patton. They're giving their partners a lot of room getting into the corners. You got to wonder about the cars third and fourth in line. They're not quite sure when you're going to check up to give the leader room, and that's when a lot of this trouble can start.
When you don't give room, that's when big things happen, and big things happen in a bad way here on the track. Now the number 2 machine in the wall, looks like going through turns 1 and 2. That's Brad Patton. He's going to lose a lot of position as he touches the wall through 1 and 2. That's going to give position to the 23 and the 9, the 38, the 29, the 22, all in that group. And now let's look at your top 4. Josh Chin, Jeff Ramsdell, Brandon Hoff, and now the 924 of Ian Crash Plash in the mix as well. All 4 of those drivers, 5 of those drivers on the low line, doing everything they can to hold on and make it work down there behind them. 2 lines still forming that high line led by the 23 machine that belongs to, I believe, Brandon Hoff. They're still trying to make it work on the high side, but they do not have nearly the train they have on the low side. The train on the low side dominating this race right now, and guys, this may very well turn into a 1-lane race.
Yeah, it looks like it's shaping up to be that way. Going into turn 1, it looks like the cars on the high side are having a tough time holding their line. It looks like they're almost bottoming out. They're jumping up to the 3rd lane, and that happened to Brad Patton last lap, and that's how Hoff managed to lose so much ground on the high line.
The driver I am keeping my eye on right now is your current points leader, the Verizon Chevy of the 38 machine. That's Wes Hogue. He currently has 16 points over Austin Atkins and 21 over Davey Scoville. So Wes Hogue right now has the most to lose right now if something were to happen in that mid-pack. 3 positions behind is a 9 of Davey Scoville in that unsponsored Chevy SS. Check that. I believe that's a Fanatic Chevy SS driving the number 9 machine of Davey Scoville. He's trying the high line, and I think the high line might be the safest place to go right now. And I say that because if you're on the high line, you have a little bit more flexibility. You have a little bit more room to navigate. If something happens low, you can usually come up high and try to avoid it. So the number 9 machine might be in good position as you see the top points contenders starting to get side by side, going through 3 and 4 into the trial.
Coming out of turn 4, it looks like both the bottom and the top lane are really having trouble holding their own lane. Both of them are sliding up about a half a car length each, and if they manage to do that at the same time, they're going to stay off each other. But in the closing part of this race, if they're trying to pinch on the high side, that's when the trouble really can start to happen, is coming off of turn 4 there.
Brandon Hoff in the 23 machine almost got help, looks like, from the 82. The 82 machine, the 82 machine, as you see the 4 starting to blink there in the middle. 3 wide racing now going into turns 3 and 4. The 82 caught in the chili dog position. The 23 and 9 dispatch him with ease. And now the 82 machine belonging to Joe Branch. He's going to try to use the high line for a change hookup with the 9 and the 23. As you almost see the 29 make contact with the 9 machine. That would have been catastrophic, taking out at least 28 of the 34 remaining drivers out here on the field. Josh Chin remains in the lead, but now he's got company. Jeff Ramsdell in the 4 machine. He's going to put his name in the hat to take away the lead. And then there's Ian Blash in the 924 trying to make some moves. He's climbed his way up to 2nd. And then the 38 of Wes Hogue, knowing the safest place on this track might be up in front of this group. So Wes Hogue going to try to at least lead a lap, get a bonus point, and see if he can't take a little bit more position on that lead. Now up front, we have a battle for the lead. The 4 machine, Jeff Ramsdell, fighting the 93 of Josh Chin side by side. The 4 now has the lead, has the nose. He's got a car length at the line. The 4 of Jeff Ramsdell will lead lap number 13.
And that's his teammate of Brandon Hoff pushing him on the high side. They made a very daring move the lap before, going 3 wide into turn 3 to be the 2 cars on the point on the high line, and now it looks like they're tandeming a lot better than the bottom line is right now.
Let's see if we can ride along with one of those cars down there. Let's try the 38 machine of Wes Hogue. If we can ride along with him, you can see just how hard it is to drive the low side on these turns going full throttle. Now, right now, I'm clocking Wes Hogue going about 195 through the turns, but you see him just weaving back and forth that old surface at Daytona, just pushing this lighter Gen 6 car as hard as it will go through the turns. That really shows you the difficulty of this 2007 surface, of this older surface that's warped, that's beat up. You really have to be able to master this car and know what it's able to do in order to make it work for you, especially just going at breakneck speeds through these turns. Jeff Ramsdell now back down low. Up top, Brandon Hoff and the 9 of Davey Scoville getting some position, trying to battle for the lead. High side can make the pass. It's going to be a drag race down the back stretch and into turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, it almost looks like they're able to tandem enough to overheat these cars. Hoff pulled to the high side either to get some air or try to switch, but there's just no room to try to pull that off right now.
Normally when you see these Gen 6 cars tandem draft, you will see them make a switch every second or third lap. You will see them breaking up a little bit to get some air in these cars. That's because if they don't, they will overheat these engines in a hurry and they will blow up. 93 and 9 almost making contact. 9 has to smoke the tire a little bit to not make contact with the 93 of Josh Chin. They save it, and they are back in the mix right now, making sure nothing happens. Again, both Davey Scoville and Wes Hogue have a lot to lose if the 9 and 93 made contact. That could have potentially taken out your points leaders in the race.
Yeah, it's getting real tight now. Now that we're on lap 16 here, the tires are starting to heat up. You're probably going to be starting to lose some grip here. And this surface is so bumpy, handling might actually come into effect here. And it's starting to resemble old school drafting, to where you couldn't just tandem the whole race, or you couldn't get on someone's bumper in the race without risk turning them.
Wrecking in one, the number 29 machine makes contact with a 9. That's the 9 of Davey Scoville, one of your points leaders. He's got heavy damage up front. Hood is gone on that machine. That is the end of the 9. Davey Scoville, heavy smoke coming out of that machine. Catastrophic damage for the 9 of Scoville. The Snap-on Chevrolet, Trevi Trouble, makes contact with the 29 and 82 going into turn 1. And Davey Scoville now in a very bad position. Not something you want to be doing when you are leading, when you are sitting in the points, in a position to take away the points lead.
Yeah, and it was the guy leading the points, Wes Hogue, who they touched going into the corner. Davey Scoville got it dead sideways, almost managed to save it as he was going down the track. The number 29 of Kevin Schofield hit him. That shot them both back up into the track, and that essentially blocked the whole racing line. Nobody had anywhere to go behind him.
The 38 machine and the 9, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, with these corners just being deadly treacherous as they bump over and over on this older surface. The 38 making contact with a 9, just getting pushed up by the track, and the 9 has nowhere to go. The 82 tries to brake, but he's going to cause some traffic to get up behind him. Also involved in that incident with heavy damage. The 29 machine, that belongs to, check that, 29 belongs to Kevin Schofield involved in that one. Justin Bolton getting a piece of it. Joe Branch getting sideways as a result of it. The 31 machine getting a little sideways as well. The 31 belonging to Dalton England. Connor Anton almost gets a piece of it, able to avoid it on the low line. And the last one to get a touch of that was the 22 of Jesse Kaplan. So a lot of drivers now getting a piece of that, and this points situation is going to be shaken up in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Wes Hogue, despite being involved in the initial part of that, it looks like his car's come away without a mark on it, and that's going to leave pretty much second and third place. A huge gap between them. Second place, Austin Atkinson didn't show up, and Davey Scoville, who was running very well up to that point, is probably out of this race now.
Pit road, very busy place to be right now. Josh Chin coming to the attention of his crew. It wouldn't surprise me if they try to take tires here as well as a full tank of fuel. It'll be at least 2 outside tires for the 93 machine. Will it be a 4-tire stop? Nope, down and away. The number 23 of Brandon Hoff does the same exact thing. 2 tires back down and away. Brad Patton needs some damage control done on that machine. Wes Hogue, even though he got a piece of that incident, is okay. He's going to go ahead and get off with 2 tires. 924 of Ian Plash doing the same. David Polwack in the 17, Jesse Kaplan, Steve Luender, David Smearcar all coming off. 2 tires, fuel, full tank of fuel. They are all down and away. Guys, when we talk about Daytona, we don't talk about tires very often, but with this older surface, the way it just throws around these cars like ragdolls in a tornado, you almost have to start talking about tires, and you have to at least think about taking 2 every time you come down pit road.
Yeah, it's something you don't see nowadays with the both Talladega and Daytona being repaved. People are able to take no tires almost the entire race, and here it's really telling of what this surface is doing to the cars. It's making it very interesting, really, in my opinion, and it shows that in the later parts of the race, these people would rather have handling over track position.
Davey Scoville in the 9 machine still on pit road despite that heavy front end damage. I think they're going to try to do everything they can to salvage that race car and see if they can just get some points as a result of that incident and see if they can at least stay within the top 5. Up front, Stephen O'Rourke in the 43 machine. That's the DeWalt Chevy. Heavy front rear end damage. He's going to be suffering as they go down the track. William Perry now up front as well. E.J. O'Rourke, Paul Strickland Jr. all hoping to get a wave around, I think, trying to get back on the front row. John Eckert, Brandon Hoff, Josh Chin right now going to be your leaders. Check that to be Jeff Ramsdell going to be your leader. Josh Chin second, Ian Plash third, Brandon Hoff fourth, and points leader Wes Hogue rounding out the top 5. Guys, the second major incident we've seen in 20 laps here at Daytona. We're not even halfway through this race yet, and I think we are going to be, if the racing continues the way it has, we are in for an absolute barn burner. We're going to see the Daytona of old come out with these Gen 6 cars.
Oh, it's certainly something worth seeing. You think of what, like the Daytona 2007 500 finish, and that's really what I'm seeing. You can push down the front stretch and back stretch, but once you get into the corners, you can try to push, but most likely it isn't going to end well. So now you're looking at just more positioning yourself and not just having a good partner that can stay on your bumper.
Let's see if we can grab one of these drivers for an in-car interview real quick. We're going to try to pull up the driver of the 38 machine. That's a Verizon Chevy Super Sport of Wes Hogue. Rowdy, it's Joe in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
10-4, Joe. I got you.
Rowdy, what happened out there? It looks like you and the 9 just were a victim of hard driving and the track just throwing you guys around.
I'll tell you what, man. This is like riding on an old wooden roller coaster. It's very intense. The white knuckle driving all the way around this place. A little bit of pinching going into 1 and 2. I hit the bump, and it was just hard driving. I gave him a little bit of bump when I hit one of the bumps on the track. Sending around, and for my mirror, didn't look good from there. But I'll tell you what. This is some of the most hard driving that I've done before, just to try to hold a straight line. But yeah, it looks like it's just hard driving there.
Lots of hard driving, especially through the turns, going as hard as you can on these very bumpy turns. Tell us how hard it is to hold on to that low line going 195 through these bumpy, old, unsurfaced turns.
Well, I'll tell you what. You entered these corners, and it really feels like you're just going over the whoops on a supercross track. You really have to pay attention. You have to be completely focused. You lose focus once, and you're going to be causing a big one. There's nothing easy about this. You're on the edge of your seat, doing all you can, gripping the wheel as hard as you can, just trying to keep it straight. Nothing easy about this.
Pace car lights are off. 1 to go. Wes will let you go. Good luck to you out there, buddy.
Thank you. An awesome broadcast. Heard great feedback. Y'all keep it up, and hopefully we'll see you at finish.
That's Wes Hogue, driver of the number 38 Verizon Chevy. He's currently sitting in position number 3, hoping to pick up some big position as a result of this restart. Guys, we've already seen 2 major incidents. We've had a handful of cars forced to retire as a result of those incidents. I don't even want to predict what we're going to see later on in the race.
Yeah, it's certainly getting very hectic out there, and the longer they go, it looks like the harder they're having to hold, or the harder time they're having to hold in the line. You almost wonder if people are just trying to scout, just feel the cars out for these first laps, trying to figure out what they're even capable of. Watching them in practice, most of them weren't able to run in a pack for very long, and then you have to look at is this actually a 2 or 3 lane track once you come to the end, because it's very dicey in these corners, especially if you're in the 2nd or 3rd lane. It's very bumpy out there. If you bottom out the splitter, it'll put you up into the wall, and if it does that, if there's someone to the outside of you, then we're looking at another huge wreck.
Just a reminder, if you want to see how hard the driving is from the perspective of these drivers, go to Vidane.net, click on the live tab, and you've got a selection of cameras to get to thanks to Twitch TV. You got Travis Pinney out there, Justin Bolton, Josh Fredericks, Paul Strickland Jr., Ian Blash, all putting their feed out there for you. Vidane.net, home of Vidane Racing, powered by iRacing. Click on the live tab, see all these drivers from the perspective of their car, see what they're seeing, see just how hard it is to drive this old 2007 Daytona International Speedway. 30 minutes into the race, not even halfway through, we'll be completing lap 21 when we go past the start-finish line. Pace car makes its way off the track. Brandon Hoff in control of this field. He gets the jump. The 93 does not get the jump he wanted. Forced to check up the high line. That's going to open the door down low. Now in second position, it is Rowdy Hogue. He's going to be in second. Josh Chin third. Dale Pollack fourth. And now Ian Blash forced to lead the high line.
Yeah, that would be the man that pushed Wes Hogue to the win 3 weeks ago. So hopefully if they can try to pull away from the field a little, they can stay out of this chaos we've been seeing.
And another little interesting fact here. It's been 2 weeks since we've seen the Super Speedway crew on the track. It's been 2 weeks since we've seen them come out here as we have a change for the lead. Wes Hogue has no shame taking away the lead from Brandon Hoff. So now the 38 of Rowdy will lead and the next lap through as long as he can hold on. The 23 of Brandon Hoff now on the apron. He's going to come back down pit road. Brandon Hoff either is in trouble or he's got a black flag he needs to clear. In any event, the 38 of Wes Hogue leads that lap, and now the 93 of Josh Chin going to try to force the issue on the outside. Nobody to help him, but the 38 is going to hold on to it. He's got the draft underneath him, and he's going to make the run. The 38 of Wes Hogue holds on to the lead on the backstretch. What is making, guys? It's been 2 weeks. These guys have a little bit of rust on them from the holidays, maybe even a few more pounds that could be contributing to some of the jitters you see out here tonight.
Yeah, especially because 1 week ago they were running a road course, and the track, especially for a few guys who are a little newer to iRacing, they never got an opportunity to even run this track. So for a lot of people, this is almost a new experience for them.
32 now starting to wiggle down on the low side. 30 behind him, Steve Luvender wiggling in front of Connor Anton. They're going to continue to hold it. They're going to make it work. Meanwhile, on the high side, 93 of Josh Chin behind him. The 26 of David Smearcar and Jesse Camplin in the 22 machine are doing everything they can to hold on to that high side. They're going to make it work, but not without some scary moments going through turns 1 and 2. Low line is a freight train right now. Stuart Redmond, who was involved in that first incident, back in the group. Ian Plash takes his time. He's going to hold back in this field a little bit. Justin Knobloch in the 91 machine, the WBD Ford Fusion. He's biding his time, holding back on that low line. And guys, if you just want to run this track, if you just want to be able to just cruise a little bit, the low line is a place to be as the 8 machine tries to go down on the low line. That 8 belonged to Tad Granger. He's going to get locked out, forced to go back up high. I don't think Tad Granger wants to be up there.
No, especially not put in a situation where it looks like they might try to go 3 wide coming out of 2, and it's still not something I'd want to do with over 40 laps to go here.
40 laps to go and still some more trouble on the backside. The 77 machine, or 177 in the middle of that. That's Houston Hammer right in the middle of the melee behind him. It's the 4 of Jeff Ramstel in the mix. The 8 of Tad Granger. The 18 of Justin Bolton, all trying to figure out what they're going to do. Just happy to hold it back. Up front, though, a little bit more chaos around the 41 of Stuart Redmond. On the outside of him, the 26 of Devin Smearcar is up there. The 32 machine of Steve Lavender also up there as well. The 22 machine of Jesse Kaplan. They are doing everything they can. They look like a dog standing on a toolbox trying to hold on for everything they can, but the 3-car draft just isn't working in their favor. That low line pulling away harder and harder. Now the 26 of Devin Smearcar. He's going to go ahead and go down low and join the low line. I think we're going to see a lot of guys try that low line to start freight training around this track a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. When they're running single file like that, it gives them more room. They don't have to worry about cars on the high line. So now it looks like the top 8 are running single file, and they're, except for the 2 leaders, which are pushing on each other pretty hard. The rest of them are giving themselves tons of room, and it looks like the high line. There is no high line right now, frankly.
No high line with all these guys looking to conserve a little bit, playing a little bit of conservative driving, saving it for the very end. Josh Chin now back in control of this field. Wes Hogue back on his back bumper like white on rice. Both those drivers doing everything they can to hold their positions in the face of Wes Hogue trying to get back to position number 1. David Pollack in the Miracle Whip Chevy. He's going to hold on to third. Connor Anton will stay fourth. Stuart Redmond in the 41 fifth. Then there's Ian Plash in the 924. He'll be sixth. And the only car trying the high line right now is the 177 of Houston Hammer, but he is going nowhere in a hurry. The WBD Chevy SS is going to be forced to go back down to the low line, duck back behind number 4 of Jeff Ramsdell, who was scored within your top 10 right now. Houston Hammer will be the 10th car on that group. And as you look back through this field, the top looks like the top 15, second and 17, all in single file formation right now, doing the freight train formation as they continue to run down low. 16 cars on that lead draft. JP Winch still, he was on that lead draft, but it looks like he's got some damage on his unsponsored Chevy, and he is going to lose that draft in a hurry. So now 16 cars remain as we have some battles mid-pack. The 177 of Houston Hammer on the apron, maybe trying to save a little bit as less of those cars go past by him.
And as they come through the 23 of Brandon Hoff, who had been black flagged on that restart for jumping, it looks like he's about to go a lap down. So he was up leading earlier in this race, and now looks like if he can get a caution within the next lap or so, he'll stay on the lead lap. But other than that, he's going to be fighting for the lucky dog here.
Lucky dog position always very valuable, especially on the restart, because you can get right back in that groove, start fighting with these guys once again, and start getting back towards the front, hopefully being able to challenge for a good finish. Josh Chin remains up front, Wes Hogue second, David Pollack third, and everyone running single file right now through this field. What was a 16-car draft is now turned into a 15-car draft. Houston Hammer, JP Winchell, both those drivers way back there. Oh, now the 48 getting loose. 48 on the apron. Dylan Gooden, he's going to lose it. He's able to save it, though. Now here comes the 177 of Houston Hammer and the 56 of JP Winchell. This is exactly what these drivers have been waiting for. Now they've got some partners of their own to tandem draft with, and that could be what they need to get back to that lead group. What was a draft of 16 has turned into a draft of 12.
And it was really an incredible save by the 48 of Ryan Hunt to not bring out a caution. He got hit hard in the back going into turn 1. Looks like some guy didn't necessarily check up as much as he did, and he just did an impressive save to save his car and to avoid bringing out a caution there.
Heavy damage on the number 2 machine of Brad Patton. He is going to continue to run high side and let the other cars go. That will put him 3 laps down on this field. Meanwhile, back in the mix, the 30 machine of Connor Atten debating making a move on the 17 of Pollack. Pollack running very low. He might have to leave the door open for the 30. 30 realizing discretion being the better part of valor. He's going to go ahead and get behind the 17. Now we have a challenge for the lead. Once again, the 23 machine is going to get his nose right in the mix of it. The 23 trying to hold on. The 93 and 38 doing everything they can to pass him. The 23 machine threatening to go 1 lap down. That's Brandon Hoff. He is the last car on the lead lap. If the 93 gets in front of him, he'll go a lap down. He does. The 93 goes with Brandon Hoff 1 lap down. Hoff and Hogue make contact. 4 cars involved. The 23 involved. The 38 goes spinning. The 41 involved. The 4 cars involved. Heavy damage. 3rd major incident tonight.
Yeah, and the second pack is still piling into this. Looks like the 38 just got some front end damage there. Going into turn 1, Brandon Hoff wanted to make him pass him the hard way. Stayed on the bottom, made him try to go around the top. That really bunched up the whole field. And going into turn 1, it looks like they just hit off each other, and it was all over at that point.
The 38 and 23 making contact. This is a similar situation with what we saw in the 38 and the 9 in our last caution period. The 38 and 23 both making contact in a very similar fashion. That track just throwing them both up into the group, and that is going to collect the 38 machine. The 41 machine is going to go sideways as well, and that's going to, and the 924 getting a piece of it as well. 924 picking the 41 for a hood ride, and someone must not have told that second group that there was trouble on the track, because there's a couple other guys that also getting involved in that one as well. So both of your points leaders, 1st and 3rd in points, both taken out by incidents tonight and that will mean there's going to be a shakeup in the points lead.
Yeah, this is going to be major. Both Davey Scoville and Wes Hogue are both running out there with no front ends on it. And as hopeless as that may sound, now the race between them actually matters for points.
It doesn't sound like a whole lot, but a point is a point is a point, especially when you consider that there is only 21 points between Wes Hogue at top of the poll and Davey Scoville third in points. So now it does make a huge difference. Davey Scoville, by virtue of that accident, if he continues to run and finishes with 22 positions over Wes Hogue, which is plausible, not probable, but plausible, then he could take away the points lead. If not, he will certainly cut a big chunk into Wes Hogue's lead, and it looks like he is projected to jump over Austin Atkinson in points. Ian Plash, now the guy to beat right now. If he has a big finish tonight, Ian Plash could maybe not walk away with the points lead, but get very, very close to it. Pit road getting busy again. Josh Chin, the first one down.
And it looks like Josh Chin will only take 2 tires here. Again, doing the same thing he did about 20 laps ago under pit stops. And it looks like David Pollock's going to beat him out onto pit road, or beat him off pit road here. Ian Plash is going to come off third on pit road. And then Jeff Ramsdale is going to come off fourth there.
Going back and looking at the pit stop of the 17 machine, he did not take tires. He was a gas only. So the 17 of Pollack rolling the dice a little bit and only taking gas on that stop. That's what let him beat the 93 of Josh Chin off pit road. The 924 not stopping to get any damage repaired in that machine. But looking at this front end, I don't know if we can get a camera on the front end of the American Red Cross 924 Chevy. There looks like that front end is clean, despite giving the hood rod, the 71 of Stuart Redmond the ride on the hood.
Yeah, it looks like he managed to avoid a big one there, because he's one of the cleanest cars out in the field, period. So if he can manage to keep his nose clean throughout the entire race, doesn't matter where he's finishing, he's going to have a good points day.
So Ian Plash, now the guy to beat on the field. He is 22 points behind your points leader, Wes Hogue. And with Wes Hogue and Davey Scoville both having damage, Ian Plash could look to leapfrog both of those cars very, very quickly. Once we cross the line 2 more times, this race will officially be halfway over, and this has to be one of the longest, hardest fought races these Vidane guys have had in a very, very long time. 3 caution flags, 3 major incidents, and we're barely halfway over. But take it. So let's go ahead and while these guys sort it out, let's go ahead and take our second commercial break of the evening and pay some bills. You are watching Checker Flag Interactive's live coverage of the MrAeroHD 175 live at Daytona International Speedway. The number 17 of David Pollack, currently your leader. Can he hold on to it? We'll find out when we come back after these words.
Do you have a team or small business but nowhere to point your customers? Xlander Designs is your one-stop location for everything you need. Based out of New England, we at Xlander Designs work closely with you to make sure that you get what you want. From website design to hosting, promotion to advertising, we do it all. Check us out on the web at www.exlander.com.
Showtime Stevie Stamos. What do you think of my race car?
Not bad. It says here, interesting trades considered.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you perhaps be interested in some Hollywood memorabilia?
Man, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
How about a year's worth of massages from the Platinum Entourage's own Jay Busta?
Jay Busta. The Jay Busta?
The Jay Busta.
Oh, man. Yeah, you've got a deal.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a race car.
And I've got Jay Busta.
Damn!
Tonight's live coverage of the Mr. Aero HD 175 brought to you by Mr. Aero HD. Check him out on Twitter at Mr. Aero HD, and I believe he's also got a YouTube channel as well. You can find out more about that on Twitter, Mr. Aero HD, proud sponsor of the Mr. Aero HD 175. Vidane Racing Series now running season number 7. Find out more at Vidane.net. Don's Home Improvement, based in Coventry, Connecticut, proud sponsor of the CT race car racer Kelsey Rattino. Find out more at DonSidingAndWindows.com. Run a race car Northeast, running dare stocks at Stafford Motor Speedway every Friday night. It's not a ride along, it's a race. Find out more at rent-a-race-car Northeast.com. Ken's Cards, sports cards, collectibles, baseball, football, NASCAR, pro wrestling, and more. Find out more about Ken's Cards at Facebook.com/Ken's Cards. Bro-Am Belts, designers and creators of the 2013 Vidane Racing Championship belt. Learn more at BroAmBelts.com. Xlander Designs, visit them online at Xlander.com. Trading Paints, the official paint trading paint scheme trading site of iRacing. Download it at TradingPaints.com. So here we are, halfway through officially. Pace car makes a hard left turn down pit road. It's the Miracle Whip Machine looking to whip the field. David Pollack gets the big jump. Josh Chin once again checking up on the high side just to go down low. He will inherit position number 2. Ian Plash in that group as well. And here comes Jeff Ramsdell. He's going to be on the high side, and they are going to do battle into turns 1 and 2. Through the turns, the 17 and 93 now side by side. The 93 of Josh Chin trying to get back in front of this field. David Pollack will have nothing of it, but he's not going to have a choice as a 93, 924, 26 gang up around him. So Josh Chin once again going to make the move, and Josh Chin will be in front of the car. And the 924 pushing the 93 back up to position number 1. The 26 of Devin Smirkar. He's going to continue to try to push on the high side, but he's going to push by himself. No one to give him a hand. David Pollack stays in position number 3. The 18 machine of Justin Bolton now in the mix as well. Bolton will pick up position number 4, and the low line seems to be the place to be.
Yeah, doing a quick count before we went back to green there, we've got about 16 cars that look like they're relatively undamaged, and looks like the top 6 right here are single file, and the rest of them are starting to race side by side, and that's really making them drop back from this lead pack here.
We will try to get a word with Wes Hogue as soon as he gets out of the infield care center. Meanwhile, back up through the field, they are going back all down to that low line, and it looks like the top 6 starting to break away on this field. Josh Chin, Ian Blash up front, the 17 and 18, that's Justin Bolton and David Pollack, third and fourth, respectively. The 48 of Ryan Hunt getting pushed from Devin Smirkar in the number 26 machine, and now here comes the 32 machine. That's Steve Luvender. He's going to be the caboose on this 7-car train behind them. Jeff Ramsdell, Connor Anton, JP Winchell, both all trying to figure out what they're going to do, but they've got a lot of time between them and the tail end of that first train.
Yeah, we still have at least over 30 laps to go, and Ramsdell is he's trying to tandem with Connor Anton. Whether or not they can pull it off and catch the lead pack, I'm not sure. This surface is just so tricky to try to tandem with.
Surface is very tricky. Surface is very hard to work out here as they continue to try to work it. Let's go ahead and now we've got the headset on. The driver of that 38 machine forced to retire early. Wes Hogue, what happened to the 38 machine? Walk us through that accident.
Well, we were able to get the number 38 Verizon Wireless Chevrolet to the front. I tucked him behind Josh Chin there to just ride around, and then we had the lap car of Brandon Hoff just... I don't know what he was thinking. He decided to cut down low and try to force the leaders to go high on him. The only lap car to do that, I don't know what he was thinking. We just went into turn one, and it looked like he didn't turn coming in the corner. I don't know if he had a bump and just came up to me or what it is. It's very very disappointing to have a lap car take out the points leader in the series. Pretty heated, needless to say. Couldn't get a word with him. He exited the server in TeamSpeak before I could ask him what was going on there. But I'm sure that he had his head up his rear end there and didn't have much to say. But I guess that's racing. Just very disappointed for here in the team. We worked out all hard during worked pretty hard during practice and during qualifying to get a solid car. Finally got up front in the front row and just suffered a tough break there. It's just unbelievable.
Wes Hogue finishing outside the top 25, around the top 25 tonight in the Verizon Wireless Chevy. Wes, sorry to have you packing up so early. We will see you next time, I'm sure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having us. We'll see you next Friday, which will be the tribute race for my father. Everybody show up that can. Everybody watch that can. Thank you, everybody from Ken's Cards, Rent a Race Car, Don's Home Improvement, everybody that makes this happen.
Wes Hogue, the 38 machine, will finish outside the top 25 tonight. Not the position he wanted to be. Back out on track, Josh Chin up front, Ian Blash, David Pollack, Justin Bolton, your top four. Ryan Hunt still in the hunt in the top five.
Oh, we've got trouble in the second pack.
These guys got trouble on the track.
Yeah, it looks like the second pack, Dylan Gooden is going to be involved. We've got, let's see who's that, Jesse Kaplan. He's turned around on the apron after the tri-oval. And it looks like that might be the only two cars involved there as the caution's out, I think.
The 22 machine of Jesse Kaplan looks like he's got some front end damage as the pace car will come out now. Yellow flag being thrown as a result of that incident. Jesse Kaplan being involved in that incident. And I didn't see exactly what happened. All I know is that him and the 177 of Houston Hammer and the WBD Designs Chevy, both those cars getting a little damage as they are going to run down almost through pit road. So the 22 of Jesse Kaplan in the My Little Pony Ford Fusion getting caught up with the 177 of Houston Hammer, and that will bring out caution number 4 tonight.
Yeah, it looks like the 177 going through the tri-oval just clipped the apron just a little bit to get his car unstable, and as he was moving up the track a little, the 22 was pretty close on him, and he didn't really have much room to try to save it. They get together, and they both turn down through the infield. Those look like the only two cars involved there. The 177 barely manages not to hit the inside wall.
Still heavy rear end damage on the 177 machine of Houston Hammer, the WBD designed Chevy SS, in major trouble out there with that rear end exposed out there. And you never want to have that because that will ultimately increase a little bit of drag. There are some tracks where not having that rear end can be a huge benefit to you. Daytona is not one of those tracks.
Absolutely not. The 2007 surface here makes it even worse, where you really do need the car to handle. He's probably going to do all he can to try to get it sorted out, but all in all, he's really going to have to drive it in order to stay with the lead draft.
He's going to have to drive it and drive it hard. We are over halfway done here. About 35 laps left on this field, plus or minus, and still plenty of hard racing to go. We've already had 4 caution flags, and I've got a feeling we're going to see at least a couple more as the cars come back down pit road. Once again, Josh Chin leading him through. Ian Blash behind him. David Pollack, Justin Bolton, Ryan Hunt leading the rest of the crew down. David Pollack at the 17. He touches the inside wall as he comes to his pit stall. He took gas only last time. Will it be another gas only stop again? Yes, Pollack taking only gas. The 48 and 26 both taking tires. The 18 taking tires. The 32 taking tires. Back up front, the 924 gets out. Gas only for him. 93 gas only as well. So Josh Chin will be the first one off. Ian Blash second. David Pollack third. Steve Levender fourth. And Connor Anton rounding out your top 5. So those 5 drivers all gambling a little bit, taking only tires taking only gas, I should say, on this field. I know tires don't matter as much as at a big speedway like Daytona, But with this very bumpy surface, I've got to wonder how much having 4 brand new Goodyears underneath you would be a benefit.
Absolutely. I mean, it gives you more room to maneuver. So if you need to either go to the high line to low line or low line to high line, that's where the handling can really start to come into play at a place like Daytona, or the bumpy Daytona at least. So whether or not it actually gives you more straight line speed or more ability to run it wide open, it gives you more just maneuverability between different lanes.
Lots of drivers not electing to come down that time by, including Joe Branch, Quentin Young, John Eckert, William Perry, all electing not to come down. So it's going to give a little bit of traffic in front of Josh Chin and company. While we have a moment, let's see if we can grab the number 17, the Miracle Whip Chevy SS of driver David Pollack in that. Let's see if we can grab him for the in-car interview real quick. Hey, David, it's Joe Cortez in the booth. Oh, trouble in front of him. We'll get back to him in just a minute as they figure it out.
Oh, under caution here. It looks like the 92 car might have... Well, he did get turned around while pacing.
Number 92 telling his crew, apologizing to his crew for that one. The GoDaddy Chevrolet, I believe, having a little bit of issue out there after turning off the engine on that machine, coasting it a little bit, trying to save gas, and that's going to cost him the race out here, as officials are going to tell him to park it after causing that incident. Let's go ahead and see if we can try it now. We're incident-free on the track. Let's see if we can grab the driver of the 17 machine, David Pollack. David, it's Joe Cortez in the booth. You got a copy of me?
Got a copy. Good evening, guys.
Dave, right now you are currently sitting 5th. Ever since that last incident, you've been able to challenge in the top 5. What's the secret? How are you able to get up front and get with that group?
Stay in the bottom. I really don't know. A couple incidents there, just a matter of good fortune and maybe cranking the wheel once to the right or to the left, whatever it took to avoid it. And here I am.
Now let's just talk about it real quick. How hard is it to maintain that low line? We've seen you guys just race back and forth, drift as hard, every which way throughout the turns. How hard is it to hold that low line in this unsurfaced Daytona 2007 rendition track?
So some laps it goes well. Other laps you just hit a bump and you shoot up. It's definitely okay when you're single file, but when you got an outside line up there and you got to put a little more wheel into it, it certainly it doesn't always go where you want it to, but somehow it goes in the right direction.
When we restart around lap number 48, you will have Josh Chin, who's been leading a lot of laps out here, as well as Ian Plash up front. Do you have an idea, a strategy on how you're going to get around them, or is it just going to be, play it by ear and wait for them to make the first mistake?
I think it'll be to play it by ear, wait for the mistake option, because right now, as much as we have left to go, don't really want to poke it out there, because there's just some more guys hungry just as behind me. So we'll try to keep it to the front and get there when we need to.
Lots of hungry drivers out there looking for position, looking for help out there. It's all going to come down to who can drive it the hardest. David Pollack in the Miracle Whip Chevy going to restart it in position number 5. Pace car lights are off. One more to go. Dave, thanks for joining us. Good luck to you out there.
All right, thanks for talking to you guys.
That's David Pollack. He will restart in the top 5. He will restart actually in position number 4 in front of him. Joe Branch will be on the pole. Josh Chin 2nd. Ian Plash 3rd. David Pollack 4th. And Steve Lavender rounding out the top 5. A lot of guys having a quiet night here. You're starting to see rise to the top and come to the top 10. Guys like Steve Lavender in the 32 machine. E.J. O'Rourke in the 37. He's now back in the top 10. Justin Knobloch in the 91, he's in position number 8. Justin Bolton, Ryan Hunt, all both in the top 10, and just outside of them, a lot of drivers that could contend, including Devin Smearcar, Dylan Goodland in 75, Jeff Ramsdell now back in the mix. Houston Hammer, despite being involved in that incident, he's back in the mix as well. So a lot of drivers out here. 21 drivers remain on the lead lap, and it looks like any one of them could be a threat to walk away with this race.
Absolutely, and one other note, coming to get one to go here for this caution flag. A few cars came down to top off on fuel. Looks like the 00 of Quist Sweet, he came down pit road. Brad Patton came down, but he's pretty heavily damaged. Paul Strickland Jr. came down to top off. And then William Perry and it looks like Robert Hill are the final 2 cars to top off. So in this race, you're only allowed to carry 11.2 gallons on board. So for most of these cars, you got to assume they might not be able to make it on fuel. So it looks like these guys might be trying to stretch it to the end.
A lot of guys can be trying a lot of different strategies as we get ready to go. Green flag racing in just a moment. I don't know if these guys can stretch it to the end. They might need to have one more lap, one more pit stop, depending on how hard they push it, but I've got a feeling we're not done seeing yellow flags and sparks fly. When we go back to the line, there'll be 20 laps left to go. Joe Branch will be in control of the field. Josh Chin on his outside. Should Joe Branch get the move? Will Josh Chin check up again? Green flag flies, and this time Josh Chin will not check up. He got the start he wanted, and he's going to go up front, making the move with the 17 of David Pollack. Joe Branch getting the heck out of the way. Joe Branch is up there for the bonus points. Now he's going to let the leaders do their thing and lead this race. It's going to be Josh Chin, David Pollack up front. Now Ian Blash, Connor Atten, and Steve Lavender fighting for a top 5 position.
And it's looking like Joe Branch might have his rear end housing out of line there, and it looks like that is all he was trying to do, is just lead a lap and then pull off and let the undamaged cars fight for the win.
Top 4 now sorted out. It'll be Chin, Branch, Pollack, Plash, Plash all in the top 4 out there. Check that. It'll be Josh Chin. It'll be Josh Chin, the 17 of Pollack, Ian Plash in 3rd, Steve Lavender in 4th, and now E.J. O'Rourke finds his way in the top 5. Justin Bolton still in the mix as well. He'll be in position number 6. Ryan Hunt in the Hunt in 7th. David Smearcar in 8th. Battle now is for position number 9. As you see, the number 36 machine try to get in the mix as well. The 36 belonging to J.P. Winchell. He's going to try, 56 I should say, of J.P. Winchell. He's going to get on the low line, and he's going to make some moves out there. Getting the push from the 91 of Justin Knobloch in the WBD Designs Ford Fusion. They're going to get around the 30 of Connor Atten, and now here comes Jeff Ramsdell, who was running in the top 10 earlier tonight. He's going to be around position number 13. The 56 of Winchell almost makes contact with the wall. He's going to let the 91 around him, and now Winchell's got to recover a little bit and see if he can get back in that mix and get back in line and keep on drafting. Justin Bolton now on the high side. Ryan Hunt, David Smearcar, all going to join him, looking to make a charge towards your leader, Josh Chin.
And you can feel it just getting antsy out there. We're coming to 20 to go this time by, and some guys are still choosing not to try to press it, but right now it looks like the top few are really trying to look for any opportunity they can to go to the lead.
93 of Josh Chin up front. The number 18 of Justin Bolton now challenging David Pollack. They are side by side. Low line still seems to have the advantage. 4 cars in the low line, 3 cars on the high side, and then there's a 37 of E.J. O'Rourke. Not sure where he wants to run. He will continue running in the low side, debating almost making it 3 wide, it seems. 37 flirting with the high line, going to go back down low, and the more cars the low line has, the more dominant they will be out here on the field. 18, 48, 26, holding up with your leader, but don't have quite enough gas to pass him and make the move on him. Josh Chin remains the leader. Now here comes the 18, Justin Bolton, pulling the train behind him. The engine is roaring. Steam engine coming with a full head of steam. And here comes the 18 of Bolton, cleanly passes the 93. The 924 of Ian Flash going to join the high line as well. It's a party up high, and the 18 of Justin Bolton leading the Soul Train.
Yeah, we really haven't talked about Justin Bolton all day, but it looks like he's just managed to run in the back all day, miss everything, and now when the closing laps, he finally shows himself and goes to the point.
Goes to the point and goes to the point in convincing fashion in the SRA Chevy. The number 18 now under fire from the 48 machine. That's Ryan Hunt. He's now found a handle with the 26 of Devin Smearcar. The 924 of Ian Blash in that group as well. The 48 will go down low in front of the 18. 48 is your leader pro tem, as it were. But now here comes the 26 of David Smearcar. Smearcar trying to get around the 48. Side by side they go. The 48 wants to get the point. He wants to lead a lap. He may not have that liberty, depending on whether or not the 26 can make the move. He is getting pushed hard by the 924. The 48 is gone. The king is dead. Long live the king. The 26 of David Smearcar, officially your leader. Ian Plash all over his rear bumper. The 26 goes low. The 924 has the opportunity. Can he capitalize on it? Not through turns 1 and 2.
And they're racing real aggressively right now. I mean, there's still over 16 laps to go, and right now, Ian Plash, who has probably the most to lose up in this pack, is trying the high line, trying to go for the lead here.
17 and a half laps left. When they cross the line, it will be 17 to go before we crown a winner in the MrAeroHD 175. Now Ian Plash is up front. The 26 makes a dire move to the apron. That is going to hurt him. Ian Plash crashes his way up front, and now the man sitting fourth in points is going to be your leader. Ian Plash up front. The 93 of Josh Shin immediately behind him. Plash leads his first laps of the evening. Doesn't have as many as Josh Shin, but at this point, everyone helps, considering the top 3 drivers in front of him all off track.
Yeah, the other guy who has managed to pull his way back into this point battle is Ryan Hunt. He was about 30 points back coming into this race, and with the top few drivers wrecking out, he's running in the 4th position. If he can hold that spot, it's going to be a huge points day for him as well.
It would be a very nice little points day for him. He may not walk away with the lead, but he's going to definitely put a huge dent into the leaders. The 924 of Ian Plash with the American Red Cross on the hood. Remember, text 90999 to donate $10 to disaster relief to the American Red Cross. That's 90999. Text it, and $10 will be added to your cell phone bill, going directly to disaster relief with the American Red Cross. Ian Plash up front, Josh Shin behind him, Devin Smearcall, Ryan Hunt, Justin Bolton, your top 5, and they continue the conga line down low. Ian Plash now trying to go high. Nope, he's going to go back down low, giving a little bit of false hope to the 93 of Josh Shin. The 26 going to debate going high. No one to go with him. He's going to be forced to get back in line when they cross the line. 15 to go. Still anybody's race.
And then we have the issue of fuel here. We're still not totally sure that the lead pack can actually make it on fuel. First car to stop under that last caution is not in the lead pack. We've got a few cars running about 2 seconds back. They're making no ground up on the lead pack here.
Making up no ground on the lead pack, which they cannot afford at this point. They need to make some moves and make them in a hurry. Ian Plash has 15 more laps before he can win this race. And Ian Plash always a threat to win these races, especially at these super speedways. Ian Plash is the second highest rated driver in the super speedway series. Only one in front of him is Wes Hogue. Wes Hogue is off track, and Ian Plash definitely a threat to walk away with this race tonight. When you look at him, he has led a handful of laps out here. He has one race underneath him in the Donso Improvement 162 in week number 5 of the Vidane Super Speedway Series. So Ian Plash definitely a threat to walk away with the big win and make it win number 2 for his campaign.
Yeah, he's certainly not somebody you want to know you have to try to pass for the win. Especially at this track, so far looks like even with 14 to go, they're content staying single file. He knows how to get it done at any style of super speedway racing.
The biggest threat to him right now is a driver 3 positions behind him. That's the 48 of Ryan Hunt. Ryan Hunt currently 5th in points, 30 behind the leader, and only 8 behind Ian Plash. Ryan Hunt could make a big splash out here, and he's got a good season going for him so far. In 6 starts, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, trying to get win number 1, eluding him so far, hoping that he won't elude him tonight. Paced car being passed up top. That is the 82 machine that's getting passed out there. The 82 belonging to Joe Branch. He will go 1 lap down, and now looks like the 4 having a little bit of electrical issues out there. He's going to avoid trouble with the 37 of E.J. O'Rourke, but that could, electrical problems right in the middle of the pack could spell disaster, especially for a lot of drivers out in the back of the pack. Almost trouble between the 00 of John Eckert and the 00 of Chris Sweat and 35 of Robert Hill Jr. John Eckert almost had a face full of both of those cars. He will avoid it. Meanwhile, back up front in the Congo line continues. 13 cars on that lead lap. Dylan Goodland, the last one. Connor Anton trying to be the last car on that lead lap, but cannot catch up to the 177 of Houston Hammer. The high line starting to develop back towards the back of the pack, and it's going to be led by the 37 of E.J. O'Rourke.
Yeah, I just get the feeling watching it. We're coming to 11 to go now. Looks like everybody's just waiting to when they need to make the move to try to go towards the front.
Now, something to remember at this point, 10 laps to go. There is racing back to the line at this point, but the biggest thing to remember, there is no overdrive finish in the iRacing sim. There is no green-white checkered finish in this race. If the yellow flag comes out with 4 to go, we will end this race under yellow flag situation, which means the field is locked as soon as they cross the line, and whoever is in front has 3 parade laps before they are crowned the winner of the MrAeroHD 175 here at Daytona International Speedway. So Ian Blash needing to hold on for at least the next 6 laps in order to be in good position to take the win if the yellow flag comes out.
And actually coming off of turn 2 that last time, Dylan Gooden got spun around, and it looks like he managed to not hit anything, and he spun to the apron and got it going. No caution.
Dylan Goodland was trying to get back in that mix, not able to, and now the group decreases. What was a 14-car group is going to be a 10-car group. E.J. O'Rourke, the caboose on that train, and then there's at least a 1 second lead and change between the 10th place driver and the 11th place driver. That's Connor Atten and Houston Hammer joining them in that group as well. Conga line continues down low. Ian Blash leading the train. It'll be 9 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. Josh Chin, David Smearcar, Justin Bolton, Ryan Hunt, and Justin Bolton rounding out your top 5, and Ian Blash looking to make it win number 2 here in the MrAeroHD 175. Ian Blash could take it away, but he's got to make sure that he can hold on for 9 more circuits.
Yeah, and as we watch further at the back of this single car train, you see a few cars starting to get a good run as the field starts to accordion up again, and they all seem to be trying to dip their nose out, seeing if anyone's going to go with them. Nobody is committed to working together yet, so they're just really antsy right now. At some point, they are going to form that second lane.
Wes Hogue officially ending this race in position number 25. Only 22 points between Ian Blash and Wes Hogue. So Ian Blash, if he does not take away the lead, he will get very, very dangerously close to being position number 1 at the end of tonight's race. Ian Blash up front still. Josh Chin in no hurry to pass him. 8 laps to go at this juncture. Devin Smearcar in 3rd. Ryan Hunt 4th. Justin Bolton rounds out your top 5. And nobody really in a hurry at this point to try to take away position out there. These guys just happy to be running. E.J. O'Rourke still in that group. 10 cars remain in contention to take away this win. Nobody threatening on the high side yet, but time is running out on this field. The Galaxy Chevrolet of Ian Blash looking to add another star to that car if he can hold on. Josh Chin looking to disappoint him and make a big splash in the point standings.
Yeah, and again, nobody out there, even as we come to 7 to go right now, they still are content with running single file. Either they don't think they'll be able to get to the lead if they make a move right now, or they think if they did right now, they'd get shuffled to the back by the time they finished.
Shuffle to the back does not get you the win, and remember, it's not won on lap 64. This race is won on lap number 70. If they can't figure it out on lap number 70, then they will finish wherever they finish. Ian Blash remains in control of the field. It'll be 6 to go when they cross the line. Josh Chin, Devin Smearcar, Ryan Hunt, Justin Bolton, your top 5, top 10. Nowhere to be for those guys. The 11th machine on that group is Houston Hammer, and now Houston Hammer and Connor Atten starting to catch up to the tail end of the line, and I've got an eye on the 37 of E.J. O'Rourke. He is currently 10th in that draft. He's starting to go up high. He's starting to see if he can try this high line and start making some moves up front. Now the 32 of Steve Lavender is going to go high. The 17 machine of David Pollack is going to go with him. 2 cars on the high side. The battle begins.
It looks like they're not going to get any help. They know that as we come to 5 to go, if a caution was to come out right now, it most likely would be the end of the race. So in reality, they want to try to get up to the front.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain. 5 to go. Oh, trouble. 17 involved. The 47, the 48 involved. Through another car. I could not catch a 3rd number, but 3 cars involved. That will bring out the yellow flag, and this race could be over. It all starts around the 17 and 32 as the 32 and 48 make contact. That's Lavender making contact with Ryan Hunt in the 48 machine. The 48 will then get in the 17 of David Pollack, and 3 of those cars will cause a big incident. The 37 of E.J. O'Rourke getting involved for a second time tonight. The 18 machine also getting a piece of that. That's Justin Bolton. The 4 machine of Jeff Ramsdell gets a shot of it as well. So several cars involved in that incident to bring out the yellow flag. The big winner, though, could be Ian Plash. He takes the yellow flag this time around on lap 67. This race could be over.
Yes, it could. An incredible driving job in the midst of that was Ryan Hunt. He got hit in the right rear quarter panel, was headed straight for the wall at some point. He managed to keep it going, which might as well be the save of his points race as well, because had he been involved in that, he'd lose a bunch more points there. And with the top 3 already being involved, it pretty much would have been a one-man race with Ian Plash out front.
Leaders have the caution, or the pace car now, I should say. They caught the caution flag last time around. Now they are on the bumper of that pace car, and all eyes are going to be on the light bar of the First Racing Ford Mustang pace car. The pace car, if he turns off his lights on lap 69, we will have a 1-lap dash for the cash, though I've got a feeling we will not see those lights turn off at all at this point. This race could, for all intents and purposes, be over. The only people that know that are our race officials, who will give us any indication here of whether or not we're going to see that race, that car, go off and give us at least one more lap before we're back. Before we can go back to green flag racing. Ian Plash right now could be your winner. Josh Chin, Devin Smearcar, Steve Lavender, Justin Knobloch, your top 5. Ryan Hunt, you got to give him the good hand, safe driving award for that one. He is able to save it. He salvages a top 10 position, and Ryan Hunt could still be in the mix thanks to that big save. Pace car lights remain on. It's going to be next lap. If it remains on 69, the race is over.
Yes, as weird as it sounds, I'm sure the top 5 are all just looking at that pace car wondering if they're going to get a chance. I certainly want to see it. Most of the drivers seemed like they were still waiting to pull the trigger on whether or not to make a move. The first group that tried to make a move, unfortunately, got together and is what brought out the caution. So we don't know if second's going to stay with first here. We don't know what Devin Schmerker is going to do. Steve Lavender, I'm sure, had something planned, so I would still love to see what they want to do on this, if we can get a 1-lap shootout.
The one thing we do know for certain, the one thing that is guaranteed, there will be a shift in points when this is all said and done. Wes Hogue, who was your points leader, is going to finish this race in 25th after an incident. Austin Atkinson did not take the flag tonight. He did not start this race, so he will not pick up any points for tonight's event. Davey Scoville, 3rd in points in the 9 machine, will finish 28th. That leaves a door open for Ian Plash, Ryan Hunt, both those finishing within the top 10. It looks like Justin Fuller, he is out here on the field as well, but did not get an incredible finish. He is going to check out Justin Fuller. Did not start tonight as well. So there will be a huge splash up top. Chris Sweat will pick up some points. Justin Bolton looking to pick up some points. Joe Branch looking to pick up some points as well. After tonight, the entire points, everything in the 2013-2014 Super Speedway Series will be shifted around.
Yeah, it's not something you're used to seeing. Pretty much the whole top 10 getting scrambled like this, but now it doesn't make anything clear at all. In fact, it makes things either closer, and really we have no idea how the points are going to look coming into these next few races. As the pace car crossed the line there, the lights stayed on, so it looks like this will be the finish.
Race will be officially over with 2 more circuits. Pace car lights remains on, so it will be a parade finish for each of these drivers out there. Ian Plash has to survive 2 more circuits, and he will be our winner of the MrAeroHD 175 at Daytona. Josh Chin 2nd, Devin Smearcar 3rd, Steve Lavender 4th, Ryan Hunt finishes in the top 5. Houston Hammer, Connor Atten, David Pollack, Chris Sweat, and John Eckert rounding out your top 10. Ian Plash will pick up his 2nd win of the season here at Daytona, and what a good win for him it was. He bided his time the entire race. He ran a very patient race, and now it's all going to pay off with win number 2 on the season. As I said about Ian Blash earlier, he picked up his first win at the Don Silver Improvement 162 and week number 5. You follow that up at the RAR Chevette Productions 183 with a second place finish. All in all, out of all 6 races we've run so far, he's had 4 top 5s. After tonight, he'll have had 5 top 5s, 2 wins to add to his campaign. Ian Plash starting to look a little like he's in championship form right now.
Absolutely, and it wasn't just because he was racing aggressively all day. It's because he managed to just hold his position, not worry about racing people hard early on, and finally when it was time to make the move, he got up there, he managed to stay there, and he managed to finish with a completely clean car. That at this race seemed to be the most important thing.
That is the most important thing to remember at these super speedways. If you can finish clean, if you can finish with a strong car, then you will have a great finish out there. All you have to do is work through the field. Jeff Ramsdell had some electrical problems. He's going to fall through the field. So Jeff Ramsdell's night goes from bad to worse as he looks like he will finish outside the top 20 if he cannot figure out a way to get back on track. Pace car lights on. One more parade lap around Daytona International Speedway, and tonight's race was incredibly challenging for each of these drivers. These drivers having so much trouble getting around this track, having so much trouble getting through this track, and especially because of this older surface out here. That older surface made it hard for these drivers to hold consistent lines, so these guys had to drive a lot harder than they would at the current Daytona.
Absolutely. It's not something you usually get to do on iRacing now, or anything. You get at the newer tracks, you just get on someone's bumper and the track's smooth as glass. You push them for as long as possible. Once you get on this surface, it is an entirely different animal. Some people hate it, some people love it. I bet Ian loves it right now. I bet the majority of the field probably isn't too happy, as a lot of them were taken out, but certainly it's a different animal. It's really fun in my opinion, and it's certainly a different challenge than most people are used to.
I think challenge is the correct word to use here at Daytona, just because of how difficult it is, how hard it is to run out here, and how hard it is to try to figure out the line to work. But Ian Plash found a way to make it work. Josh Chin, the same thing. He found a way to make it work out there, and he's earned himself a top finish. Devin Smearcar, he found a way to quietly work through this race, and now he's going to get rewarded with a top 3.
Absolutely. Again, we didn't necessarily talk about him all race, but that might have been a good thing. Just staying out of harm's way, trying to keep his nose clean, and that'll reward him with a third place finish tonight.
And in 1 week's time, they will come back to Daytona for the RAR Chevette Productions 175. So tonight's race, a precursor to what we're going to see when they come back in 1 week here at Daytona International Speedway. Ian Plash will cross the line for the last time. Ian Plash officially your winner, and now you see him bumping and grinding down there, giving each other a little bit of love for finishing this hard-fought race. Ian Plash officially your winner. Josh Chin second, Devin Smearcar third, Steve Lavender fourth, Ryan Hunt rounding out your top 5. Houston Hammer, Connor Atten, David Pollack, Chris Sweat, John Eckert your top 10. Robert Hill Jr., J.P. Winchell, William Perry, Jesse Kaplan, E.J. O'Rourke your top 15. Paul Strickland Jr. 16th. Justin Bolton, Justin Knobloch, Jeff Ramsdell, Dylan Goodland your top 20. Joe Branch, Brad Patton, Quentin Young, Tad Granger, Wes Hogue, all finishing outside the top 25. Unable to finish tonight's race with Stuart Redmond, Brandon Hoff, Davey Scoville, Dalton England, Stephen O'Rourke, Kevin Schofield, Nick Phillip, Nick Lancaster, Doug Denise, Joseph Grijalva, Bryce Senesac, Stephen Warren, Wes Devine, all unable to finish this race under their power. Ian Plash picks up win number 2 and a second win at Daytona, and he's going to get ready to burn them out right there on the entrance to pit road. Ian Plash, the driver of the Galaxy Chevy, your big winner tonight. When we come back, we will talk to your top 3, recap tonight's race, and preview our next trip to Daytona in 1 week's time. Ian Plash doing the moonwalk on the front straightaway, your winner. When we return, we'll talk to him in Victory Lane.
But nowhere to point your customers? Xlander Designs is your one-stop location for everything you need. Based out of New England, we at Xlander Designs work closely with you to make sure that you get what you want. From website design to hosting, promotion to advertising, we do it all. Check us out on the web at www.exlander.com.
Okay, we're taking a walk through the wrestling room, show everybody all of our new merchandise. All our new Elite figures up there. A little over 5,000 loose figures. A couple hundred autographs. Shirts. We got several thousand cards, along with 4,000 magazines, vintage. There's Al Snow's head. Got a case with all of our autograph stuff. Hey Rikishi.
How you doing, kid?
Good. Over here we got some vintage stuff and another 100 autograph figures. So if you haven't been to Ken's Cards Wrestling Room, come on down and check it out.
Tonight's live coverage of the MrAeroHD 175 on Checkered Flag Interactive, brought to you by MrAeroHD. Check him out on Twitter. Check him out on YouTube. Great videos. A lot of fun. MrAeroHD, proud sponsor of Vidane Racing. Vidane Racing Series celebrating season number 7 tonight at Daytona International Speedway. Find out more about them at Vidane.net. Don's Home Improvement, based in Coventry, Connecticut, proud supporter of CT racer Kelsey Rotino. Find out more about Don's Home Improvement at donsidingandwindows.com. Rent a Race Car Northeast, rating Dare Starks at Stafford Motor Speedway every Friday night. It's not a ride along, it's a race. Learn more at rentaracecarne.com. Rentaracecarne.com. Kids Cards, sports cards and collectibles, baseball, football, NASCAR, pro wrestling, and more. Learn more about them at facebook.com/Kids Cards. Excellent Pro-Am Belts, designers and creators of the 2013 Vidane Racing Championship belt. Visit them online at proambelts.com. Xlander Designs, visit them online at xlander.com, and tradingpaints.com, the official paint scheme sharing site of the iRacing Sim. Download today at tradingpaints.com. Ian Crash Splash, your big winner, making it 2 for 2 at Daytona International Speedway. Josh Shin, Devin Smirker, Steve Lavender, Ryan Hunt, your top 5. Houston Hammer, Connor Atten, David Pollack, Chris Sweat, and John Eckert, your top 10. Robert Hill, JB Winchell, William Berry, Jesse Kaplan, EJ O'Rourke, your top 15. Paul Strickland Jr., Justin Bolton, Justin Knobloch, Jeff Ramsdell, and Dylan Goodland, your top 20 in a field of 36 drivers coming out to race tonight. Ian Crash Splash, the big winner out here, celebrating in Victory Lane in the 924 Galaxy American Red Cross Chevy. Ian, you're 2 for 2 now at Daytona, and how good does it feel coming back to Victory Lane?
victory itself feels absolutely phenomenal, but just now knowing that I actually have the points lead 2 over West Hogue now. God, while back, we had the worst season. We opened up at Daytona with a wreck in turn 1. Then last time we came to bumpy Daytona, we got taken out in the truck going into 3. But God, just coming back, getting these wins, these consistent finishes, it's put a huge smile on me and my team's face. We're doing phenomenal. We're coming back in this thing, and now we're definitely back in the hunt.
Definitely back in the hunt with plenty of racing left to go this season. What was the secret to surviving this very bumpy, very treacherous Daytona? You guys were racing as hard as you could. What was the secret for you in the 924 team?
You said it yourself. Survive. Like the whole entire race, we weren't even going for it. We basically find a spot, ride. But that's all we could do, just survive. And then it came down to the end. Chin and I made some really damn good moves out there to get up to the lead again, and we got 1-2, and we decided that somebody started making the move. It was actually going to be Chin in front of me because I had a super cool motor. But when they started going double file behind us, that wreck happened, and that just kind of sealed the deal.
Definitely sealed the deal for you. How relieved were you to see all that wrecking happen? Because right when that thing happened, you had to be excited. You had to know what was coming.
Yeah, I definitely knew the victory was... Chin and I were going to be fighting our damnedest for that win. We were expecting a fight. The fight was coming, and we were probably about a quarter of a lap away from actually making that move to get Chin in front of me. But as soon as that wreck started happening, man, oh God, I was beaming. I still got the smile on my face right now. I'm the points leader now, so hell yeah. That's all I got to say about that.
You mentioned it about 14 different times now. You are officially the points leader, 2 points over West Hogue, who finished 25th tonight. Next week, you come back here to Daytona. You already have 2 Daytona wins under your belt. Are we going to see the three-peat from Ian Plash?
Well, you guys saw what happened the last time we took the beat car to Daytona, albeit it was nighttime. I think I'm going to be a really strong contention for the win again. If Chin can make it, he and I are going to be tandeming again, and well, you'll be looking for another top 3 finish out of us, absolutely no doubt.
Ian Crash Splash, the big winner here in the 924 Galaxy American Red Cross Chevrolet. I noticed you have American Red Cross on the hood. Any particular purpose behind that?
Just no particular reason. American Red Cross is always a good thing to be contributing to. You can always text Red Cross to 90999, and you can make a $10 donation to the disaster relief funds. So if any of you guys have it within you to do that, go ahead and do so. But David Pollack was actually out there in the field. He painted up the sexy beast for me a while ago. I love this car, and it's just a beautiful looking thing. So thank you to him again. And Josh Chin, you're the bomb. Thank you, dude. That was a great race.
Ian Plash bringing Sexy back for a second time here at Daytona. Any other shout-outs you want to give?
No, just everybody here at Vidane who made this possible. Big thank you to CFI for jumping on to help us out, and you for stepping up and doing some commentary for us as well tonight. Definitely made tonight's race enjoyable, so I'm hearing from a lot of people. Everyone over on my Twitch TV stream, I had a bunch of guys watching over there as well, and they've been fun to talk to all race long. So just everyone here makes Vidane racing possible. It's been an absolute blast.
Ian Crash Splash looking to hoist the belt when it's all said and done. Currently in the points lead, 2 points over West Hogue. Ian, congratulations on a big finish tonight. We will see you in 1 week's time back here at Daytona.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's go ahead and go to Stephen Moore, who's caught up with our second place finisher, Josh Chin.
Yeah, I'm here with the 93 of Josh Chin. Josh, you led 32 of the 70 laps today. You seemed like you were able to pass people on the high line. You were able to maintain the lead once you got there. What was your strategy coming into the last few laps there?
I was waiting on the line behind to see what happened, and if someone had jumped up high, we were going to have Ian jump up and then work the lines and see if I could get in the lead, but we never got the shot. Once everyone started going too wide, they wrecked behind us, so that was the race right there.
Yeah, and you were working with your teammate there. Were you trying to get him the win, or were you just trying to get it for yourself?
We were trying to see what we could get. If it was going to be disadvantageous to one of us to try and make a move, then we were just going to sit where we were. But we figured we could kind of switch around and still be able to hold 1-2 without really worrying about the pack swallowing us back up. We didn't have the time to do it.
All right, and you come away second here after leading the most laps. You think you could have beaten your teammate?
I think so. I think I could have gotten around Ian if we had been able to work out what we wanted to, or even if I'd just been racing Ian straight up with us not working together, I think it could have been a very, very entertaining finish.
Alrighty, well maybe you'll get a chance to show us that in the next week or so. I saw Morgan Freeman on your car with Through the Wormhole. You got any other sponsors to give a shout out to?
Oh, well, actually, that's an old scheme. This week we had Manly Game Days, JDR Graphics, Main Performance PC, Trading Paints, and that's about it, I think.
Alrighty, well I'll go get my Trading Paints updated. That's second place finisher tonight, Josh Chin.
Josh Chin finishing with a big second place finish tonight. Let's go ahead and talk to the fan who finished third in the 26 machine, Devin Smirker. Devin, you had a very quiet night all night, but found your way up to position number 3. You got to be happy with that at a very bumpy, very hard to drive Daytona.
Yeah, the number 26 Budweiser Elvis Presley Chevy SS was it was great all night long. We didn't run any practice laps or qualifying laps, so we just kind of went cold turkey into the race. But I knew if I could stay out of trouble, I could be there at the end, and was fortunate enough to do so.
You're really able to find a way to work through this race very, very quietly. You said it yourself just a moment ago. You guys kind of went cold turkey into this race, just seeing where the chips would fall and how everything would work. What was your plan going in, knowing that you had a very contentious Daytona to go into with very little laps underneath you?
Well, a lot of these guys in this league, I'm either good friends with or I've raced with them a lot, and I trust about 75% of the people I'm racing with. So I know if I can just keep the car underneath me, I can trust the guys around me, or most of them. And having run enough laps at this track and in the Gen 6, I knew I'd be alright, but my biggest problem was turn 4. It was just the car would just take up the hill wickedly. It was like a dump truck. But other than that, I was just, there was a lot of riding in line, and then you just kind of had to wait for the outside line to show up every 5 or 6 laps or so, and then if you wanted to go to the front, you just hop up in front of somebody and took you right to it. So, yeah, I took 4 tires every pit stop, so I never really restarted up front, but I was able to make my way up there just by hopping up on that outside train, and it was a quiet night, but I think we led a lap, and I wish it would have went green because I felt like I was in a pretty good spot, but I'm more than happy with third tonight.
Something we mused about in the race tonight was the importance of tires, especially on this very treacherous, very bumpy, unsurfaced Daytona. You guys decided to take 4 tires every stop. How much do you feel that contributed to your third place finish?
I'm not sure how much a lot of the guys up front were sliding around, but I had absolutely no handling issues whatsoever, apart from the turn 4 push up the hill, but everybody else had that too. But the car just drove great all night long, and I could pass people, just like that. And there's a couple times where I was able to pass people all by myself, and I didn't have to jump up to the outside or dive to the inside. I could just drive right around them, no problem. And that might have had something to do with the tires, who knows? But it was a good race, and I'm definitely happy where I finished, and congrats to Ian for the win and Vidane for putting it on.
Devin, before I let you go, I got to ask, what's the story with Elvis on the car?
Oh, yes, the good old Elvis car. This particular paint scheme was ran by Dale Earnhardt Jr. back in 2007. He was still with DEI, and he ran this on a COT car at the Fall Richmond race, and I loved it then. It was just fantastic. And I ran this car on multiple Xbox games and PlayStation games where you can paint the cars online and import them into the console. And I've always been a big fan of the car. And then I hopped over to iRacing and I never really used it. And then, for some reason, I'd say late 2011, I just thought about it. I was watching some videos. I'm like, holy crap! Like this is my favorite paint scheme ever. So I put that on a COT. Talked to my buddy JD Laird, who does a fantastic job with all his vehicles, and got that put on a COT. And then I ran a National Guard Grey Ghost car on the Gen 6 for a while, which is a throwback paint scheme to David Pearson. But I just got the Elvis car about a week ago, so it's brand new, and I'm gonna run it full time, probably for another couple years. So love the car, big Elvis fan. I'm a big classic music guy. I don't drink Budweiser, not of age, but Elvis is pretty darn cool, and that's why we got it.
Great story behind that car. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to? Anyone else you'd like to say hi to? All yours. Microphone's all yours.
Yeah, once again, congrats to Ian for the win. Josh Chin, second place finish. Thanks Vidane for putting it on. Practice was a little, I heard it was a little rough, but the race was actually pretty good. Thanks to my family and to my girlfriend Courtney for watching, and thanks to CFI and all the WRN guys coming together to put this broadcast together. And I can't wait to go watch it.
The king lives on the hood of the 26 machine. That is Devin Smirker finishing third tonight. Devin, good finish tonight. We hope to see you in 1 week's time when we come back to racing here at Daytona.
Thank you, guys.
Devin Smirker in the 26 machine finishing third tonight. Steven, we had a great race. A lot of fun racing out here despite all the action, all the sparks flying on track. Your final thoughts on tonight's race?
Absolutely. Just goes to show that there's a different skill set when you're on a bumpy speedway like this. It was fun watching it. Totally different style than just tandem racing. And unfortunately, it ended under caution there, but the rest of the time I was having a blast watching it.
A lot of fun racing tonight. Well-earned win by the driver of the 924 machine, Ian Crash Plash. He will take away the points lead by only 3 points from the former leader, Wes Hogue. 1 week's time, we are back on air for January 10th, 2014, when we take the track for the Chevette Productions 175. It's the nationwide cars here at Daytona International Speedway. You won't want to miss that 10 p.m. start time. We will find out more at Vidane.net. So on behalf of all of our sponsors, everyone who makes it possible here at Vidane Racing, find out more about them at Vidane.net. Mr. Aero himself sponsoring tonight's race. Follow him on Twitter as soon as I can pull up his Twitter account. Aerotech, AEROTEQ. Follow him on Twitter presenting tonight's race here at Daytona. Vidane Racing, find out more about them at Vidane.net. Don's Home Improvement, DonSidingWindows.com, Rental Race Car Northeast, Ken's Cards, Pro-Am Belts, Excellent Designs, and Trading Paints, and everyone here who makes it work at Checkered Flag Interactive. On behalf of our entire broadcast team, my partner in crime, Stephen Moore, your producer, Case Brinksma, I am Joe Cortez. We will see you in 1 week's time back here at Daytona with the Daytona cars and Vidane Racing. Good night, everybody.
Do you have a team or small business but nowhere to point your customers? Xlander Designs is your one-stop location for everything you need. Based out of New England, we at Xlander Designs work closely with you to make sure that you get what you want. From website design to hosting, promotion to advertising, we do it all. Check us out on the web at www.exlander.com.
CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends that Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Hey, Showtime Stevie Stamos. What do you think of my race car?
Not bad. It says here, interesting trades considered.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you perhaps be interested in some Hollywood memorabilia?
Man, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
How about a year's worth of massages from the Platinum Entourage's own Jay Busta? Jay Busta? The Jay Busta? The Jay Busta.
Oh, man. Yeah, you've got a deal.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a race car.
And I've got Jay Busta.
Damn!
Outside line, Doble is going to drop back through this field just a little bit. And Brooks was involved in that last incident. As everybody stacking up here on the front straightaway. Mike Lark might be close to the line.